Hello, 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 hello. I'm gonna fall asleep to this music. 1 second. Let's fix this. Let's fix this. Here we go. There we go. That's a lot better. Hello. Chat's gone. Chat's gone. Chat, where are you? Chat, why are you gone? Chat, what'd you do? You Void Links, you were here before. You're gone now. What did you do? Why are you gone? What? Oh no. Oh no. Okay. Wait. We don't need to panic. We don't need to panic. I'm sure you're here somewhere. You've got to be here somewhere, right? Don't hide. Hey. Hey, okay. That's not you. Where'd you go? Where are you? Oh, it's terrifying. I don't like you being gone. I don't like this. I don't know why this bothers me so much, but the screen is so empty without you there. We're going to a different screen. Okay. I think here is safe. I think here is fine. Yeah, no, that was awful. Where were you? Where'd you go? What happened? I brought the music with me, don't worry. There we go. Okay. I think we're good now. What do you think? All good? Yeah. Okay. Can we have rock? No. You kept losing the rock. You don't deserve the rock, okay? It's fine. I don't trust you. The bird might be around, okay? If the bird's around, what are we gonna do? Oh, you're so needy. All of you, so needy. You're lucky I care about you. See? Woo. There we go. You happy? Ah, so needy. You need water. Where's my head? Where's my head? It's fine. Oh, everything's wrong today. I overslept today because my stupid phone decided to not go off at all, which was awful. Then I had to deal with horrible things at work. And now, here we are. Everything is broken. But it's okay. I give myself motion sickness for playing a video game for 2 hours. That's awful. Sorry to hear that. Today's an awful day, but that's okay because I'm here now. How was your day? I'm hoping at least some of you had a good day to make up for my bad day. And now that I'm here, I can stream and make everything better, right? Also, I'm trying a different mic placement, so we'll see how this works. Let me know. Okay. So, we have all of the people who've checked in. There are so many people. Okay, I need you to time this, okay? I'm gonna time this. We're gonna see how long it takes me to get through all of these. You ready? Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2. Congratulations on first, Maddie. Congratulations on third, Neffy. Congratulations on second, Oddly. Hello, Maddie. Thank you for the check-in. Hello, Necro. Hello, Oddly again. Hello, Stark Noxus. Hello, Comenia. Hello, Neffy. Hello, Galactic. Hello, Karamia. Hello, Gibbets. Hello, Rookies Rebellion. Hello, Unstable Raccoon. Hello, Tasha. Hello, Stellar. Hello, Spooky. Hello, Kate. Hello, Sleepy and Kelbob. Hello, Imana and Indy and Best Emma. Hello, Ruby Ship. Hello, Goblin King Red Moon and Clay Kint. Oh no, I can't read your name. Hello, Sunny the Stars. Hello, Asher. Hello, Inrando. Hello, Wolfos Untamed. Hello, Spooky. Thank you for the follow. Hello, Eli. Hello, Alaskan Daddy. Hello, Ginja Ninja. Hello, Marixel. Hello, Punkish. Hello, Nat. Oh no, he's Nat. Hello, Nat. Hello, Kitty Goth. Hello, Lucky. Hello, Sakona. Hello, Lunar. Hello, Seven Kai. Hello, Ocean and Misty and Jupiter. Hello, Random. Hello, Jupiter. Hello, Yuri. Hello, Go to the Ditch. Hello, Little Mouse. Hello, Arya. Hello, Akira. Hello, Day of the Vulcan. Hello, Yumai. Hello, Kitty Lover. Hello, Namira. Hello, Meow Kitty and Cece Bear and Bellatrix. Hello, Sakuna. Hello, Lilu. Hello, Annabelle and Rainy and Ray the Bull and Shadowy and the Real Rabbit Wolf. Hello, Vanya. Hello, Caitlin. Hello, Moosey. Hello, Moosey. Hello, Catbox. Hello, Momumia. Hello, Uwu. Thank you so much for the redeem. Thank you for the head pats. Hello, Dumpster Trash Fox. Hello, Onyx. Hello, Red Faye. Hello, just call me Clover. Hello, Clover. Hello, Roxanne. Hello, Fullmetal Brookie. Hello, Vo. Aiko. Tomi. Hello, Vay. Hello, hello, Control Pink, hello, Loser Loney, hello, Briss the Deer, hello, X-Virus, hello, Openly, hello, Oliver the Twisted, hello, Mallory, and hello, Kimmy. Done. Timer. Where are we at? How are we doing? Did I do it? Do we win? Did anybody time that? Hello, August. Nobody timed that. Minute 50 seconds. Ha ha! I am amazing. I am so amazing. How many other VTubers can do that, huh? How many other VTubers can read? We're just going to end it there. How many VTubers can read? The answer is none of them. None of them. No one can read. It's true. It's just me. I'm the only reading VTuber. Okay, let's see if it's fixed itself. It's still broken. No. Why is it broken? Oh, wait, we have to check something. Okay, that one looks fine. Can we do a little testy types? No. It's all broken. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Why do you work here? Okay, this one works. But apparently this scene is dead now. So, yeah. That's fine. I guess I'll fix the just chatting eventually one day when I'm, not streaming. Lawless Jane. That is a person? Did you just call me Lawless Jane? I'm sorry, I'm not a vampire. Ich kann Deutsch sprechen, though. Brauchst du das? But I know Lawless Jane doesn't speak German, so, Lawless Jane actually seems really cool, though. You deserve to be in jail. No, you! Hello, Welshie. And hello, I'm such a good doggy. Jeremy did it, Gene? Who's Jeremy? What Jeremy do you? Oh, you mean The Rock? Yeah, no, but I blame you for this. He took chat. Jeremy took chat? Why is his name Jeremy? Okay, no, out of anything that... Oh, sorry. Here, I got you. Out of anything you could name, why Jeremy? Evil bird? No. The bird's a good bird. CC, look. Oh, I grew. Look, I'll bring out the bird, okay? That's an explosion. Oh, geez. Bird? Nope, that's a cage. Where's the bird? Oh, it's an explosion. That's dynamite. Bird. See, look. Look at the bird. Chat, he's in the cage with you. He's in the cage with you. I can't get to him. He's on the other side of the bars. Oh god, he's getting closer. Chat, he's approaching. Chat, he's coming. Nah, I'm just kidding. It was fake. It was a stuffed Jeremy. He's gone now. You're fine. I believe in you. Mm-hmm. Anyways, where were we? I got distracted. Distracted? Never! I've never been distracted once in my life. I did not forget I was streaming. Ooh, what's this? Gift for the bird? Do birds eat lettuce? Alexa, do birds eat lettuce?
Here's something I found on the web.
Okay.
According to helpfulgardener.com, birds will also eat lettuce leaves. They will peck them to nubs and pull seedlings out of the ground looking for worms.
Okay.
By the way, I've got a brand new voice with Alexa.
No, I don't care, Alexa. Stop telling me about your new voice.
Alexa,
shut up, please. Thank you. Sorry, yes, they'll peck to nubs. Oh, thank you for the sub. Thank you, Welshie. Thank you. And also for the lovely Penguin King. Ooh, thank you so much for the redeem. But yeah, I've been getting harassed nonstop by Alexa for the past, like, I don't know how long. She keeps going, I have a new voice. Do you want to use my new voice? I'm like, sure, do the thing. Okay, cool. Hey, I have a new voice. Do you want to hear my new voice? Yeah, sure, I don't care. Do your new voice or something. I have a new voice. I know you have a new voice. Please do it or something, or stop asking me about it. It's the worst. It is the worst. It is so awful. It has been over a month. Can you believe that? I can't believe so many of you have been here for so long. She's excited. Well, she won't do it. She's like teasing me every single day. I'm getting teased by a robot, and this robot made me late for stream. So like, she made me miss my stream, and my phone. It also made me late for stream. So that's a camera. Oh no, we're not doing that. That's left, right, go. Are y'all counting? Wait a second. Hey, yo. Wait. Whoa. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Thank you for the biddies, Bomb! Thank you. I gotta do this real quick. This is important. I don't care if chat's broken. I don't care if this is broken. Thank you for the biddies! This is important. This is very important. Chat, you have 10 stickers. You got 10 stickers. You counted all to 20. That's insane. I don't know how you managed it. I get like I'm on a rant, and so chat's all like, oh, we're just gonna pay attention, but you have 10 stickers. I gotta figure out, what do you want for 10 stickers? What do you want for 10 stickers? I can take off. No, I'm kidding. I'm not undressing. But what do you want? What do you want? You want the Cage Man? What do you want about the Cage Man? Ah, what the heck? What was that? Did I just get gifted? Wait. I saw a bunch of things appear. What was that? Hey, Hype Train! Thank you. Maydress? No. Maydress isn't. Maydress, Maydress is less impressive than 10 star. I mean, if you all want to value 10 stickers, that's not happening, Penguin. Nice try though, sweetie. Maydress is worth less than 10 stickers, because y'all did a lot. We need to value 10 stickers as higher. Make the star sticker an emote. You want an hand reveal? Penguin, no reveal, sweetie. For the baits. Look, we'll figure something out. Okay? Thank you for the biddies, Welshie. What the heck? Thank you, Tasha. Thank you, Spooky. Thank you, Kimmy. Thank you for the bits. I really do appreciate it. We'll have to collect ideas from Discord, okay? Curls reveal. I've done a curl reveal. I'll do another one. Why have I done a curl reveal, but I won't? It's whatever. When is the homework stream? I'm thinking sometime this week. I can't do... Can I do Friday? I'll figure it out. Y'all will know before it happens. I'll give you at least 3 days in advance, okay? Palm, what the heck? Thank you for the biddies. Thank you. Palm, you should be saving your money though. Don't you be blowing it all on me. Don't you be blowing it all on me. I don't need no bits, but I do appreciate it. Oh God, no, I'm not sure. Oh, desk reveal. That's insane. No. I mean, it's clean. My desk is flawless. My desk is amazing. Oh, my room is so clean and organized, and there's nothing at all going wrong in this room. I swear. Why would there ever be anything in? But thank you, Palm. Thank you, everyone, for the bits and everything. Can reveal. You want to see my can pile? I will. We'll figure something out. Okay, we'll figure something out. I swear. You want to? Chad, if I show off my can corner, I feel like I'm gonna get canceled. I feel like there's gonna be some like visceral reaction, and I'll never get sponsored or anything because they're gonna be like, he has what? He has what? Stack now going to make the cans look nice. Thank you for the biddies. Thank you. Fine. I'll give you two things. You can have the maid dress. You can have the maid dress. And I'll thank you for the biddies. Thank you. You can have the maid dress for the stream. And I will show you the can corner. Heck, I'll post it on Twitter. Do I feel thank you for the gifted. Thank you. And thank you for the biddies. Do I feel bonita? I feel bonita. I'm such a good doggy. Fine. Okay. Oh well, I'll add a few more cans to the can quarter and I'll show you all later. Okay. Well, it has only been... How's it only been 30 minutes? So much stuff has happened. Well, I kind of wanted to go check out the bbno Money solo and peak. Have you all seen it? Not solo, the concert. I don't know if it's still running, if we can still see it, but no one's seen it, or is it not running? I'm such a good doggy. Hi, Flower Cow. You've seen it? I think it was running till today. No, did I miss it? Did I miss it? Did I miss the bbno concert? No! I'm gonna be so upset. Until when? Until when? I probably missed it. I missed it, didn't I? Oh. No, I wanted to see it. I had ideas. I was gonna stream it today, and then I was gonna try to get the wolf ears. So I had the. No. BB Buddy's here. Stop mocking me. No, I'm not listening to you anymore. You're just as bad as Jay Schlatt now. I wanted to see it. Monday be Mondaying so hard. Somebody go kidnap. Somebody make bbno Money quit music again so he'll do another Pete concert, please. Fine, I'll see if I can find the rock. Let's see where the rock is. Is the rock here? Is this the rock? No, that's a cage. Is this a rock? No, that's a cage. Is this a rock? No. Oh, there's the rock. There's your rock. I found your rock. I have my two things. Oh, I can't play Peak anymore because all I'm going to do is feel sad I couldn't get the Iron Mouse wig. I wanted the Iron Mouse wig too. Did you know there's a secret Iron Mouse wig that you had to hit 7 repeatedly while watching the video? I know. Now I know it. Now I know. Now I don't get it. I'm taking your rock. Taking your rock. Taking it. I'm taking the rock. It's mine now. Give me a second. That's right. I'm moving the rock. No rock for you. Because if I have to feel bad, so do you. Haha. Oh, the rock's gone. Haha. I have the rock now. Deal with it. It's too late. Rock stolen. It's mine now. Mm-hmm. Boop ba doop ba doop ba doop ba doop ba doop. Oh. How? Nom 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 nom. Delicious. My rock. You'll never get it back. I've eaten it. No rock for you. Because I can't see the Baby No Money Peak concert. No one gets a rock. No one. It might still be there. Fine, I'll go see if it's still there. Okay. But if it's gone, and I spent all this time going to Peak just to be sad, I will cry. Chat, remember, if I get sad, it's all Caramia's fault. You can blame Caramia. Got it? You've listened to me whinge? Hey, no scalpels. No scalpels. This is why you're in a cage, because your first response to me, oh no, Gene ate a rock. What are we going to do? We're going to cut him open. No. Bad. Who? No money, don't cry. Okay, it says bbno concerts live for this weekend only, so I do not think it's going to be there. Oh, hello, little Teachu. How you doing? All right, I need to go. We're gonna leave the game. We're gonna go in offline. Let's see if it's there. No rock for you. Well, I suppose I can do this while I'm figuring this out, okay? But if it's gone, if there's no concert, I will never give the rock back, okay? Thank you for the biddies. I really appreciate it. There's a statue, but it's in the game, right? It's not like it's not. Okay, fine. Here, we'll go move over there real quickly. Give me a second. Okay. Are you ready? Time to find out. Wait, the statue's still there. I do see the bugle. I do see it. Perhaps. I don't remember how to play this game. Maybe. We will have it. And if it's there, then we are good. If it's not there, then I will come. Okay? I will come. What am I saying? What am I... okay. BB? No. BB maybe money. BB maybe money. We are going to change the game to the game. Peak. Are you ready? Are we ready? Together. We are going to find out if this works. Alright. No, I need a better viewing point. I'm too close. Give me a second, give me a second. You got an ad for not starting yet, don't worry. They're not starting yet. Okay, I think that's going to be a better spot. You're fine, you're fine. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Oh, thank you for the follow. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And now, wait. Where's British? Where's British sit in the mouth? Katamia, where does your voice sit? Let me think. All right, so here it is. I believe this. No, it's not right. Not right at all. Not the right one. I don't know where it is, but I cannot remember. That's a little bit better. That is a little bit better. I believe this will do for now. This we can work with. There we go. I will work with this, if that's all right. How's this sound? We good? Is this doable? Good, that works. Perfect. Perfect. All right, we'll see if we can head over here. Blueberry. It's giving Sebastian. Oh, you know what they say. I am one hell of a butler. Butler. Butler? Butler. Alright, if we need to climb all the way up, I need to have a good view of this. I need to have a very good view of this. And up we go. At your service. At your service. We ready? Are we ready? Everyone, are we here? You are listening? You ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Look at him. He's so large. Oh, 1 second. We're gonna turn this up. So there we go. Try several times, 3 short kings in the squad like Eric. I'ma take your chick like a thief in the night. You off, I'm on, it's the circle of life. I'm top my shit, yeah, I'm crossing the line. Yeah, I'm bbno, one of a kind. Mr. Zero, bro, made a typo. My girl got a girl, she a nympho. Ain't too good, I think I need lipo. Prop 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm a psycho. Commas in $1 million bucks. That's 2. More than I'm giving in bucks. That's 2. Shotties with a big old buck. That's 2. 4 you out of sets on a truck. 1 to the kidney, 2 to the dome. That's left, right, left, right, left, right. Go. Roll for the brunch and the pack for show. That's left, right, left, right, left, right, go. This is very, this is incredible. Honestly amazing. So goofy. Ooh, money. I've done the 7. Don't you worry, I've pressed 7. I did it already. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hello, Nat. Welcome. That's left, right, left, right, left, right, go. That's left, right, left, right, left, right, go. That's left, right, left, right, left, right, go. Amazing. Wait. Something's happening. Something's happening. Something's happening. Still on that 1-800. Hit me up for a good time. My bond till it push me out of
Yes, I'm colorblind.
A giant mouse! Oh, she looks so cute.
Let me 1-800 blow your mind. Wheels in the front, they some big toys. 2025 is the year of the it boy. Got a little money, yeah, got a little Bitcoin. She making me real coy. Never stoop too low, I don't say dunking. Quite nice stop, I ain't talking no muffin. On the first date, say trauma dumping. Blah, 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 like something. 1 pump, 2 pump, 3 pump. Way she working it, she left me comatose. 3 + 6 is 9, this baby ain't talking about tic-tac-toe. She a little freak, I guess I'm an animal. Yeah, two-stepping like Cotton Eye Joe. Baby, no money. Don't for me. Don't for me. Don't for me. Please.
Look at Iron Mouse over there.
Please. Still on that 1-800. Hit me up for a good time. My bunch till it push me out of line. You can't spell my name without the $sign. Rainbow money, take whatever. Yes, I'm colorblind. It's that 1-800, hit my line.
Where'd bbno go?
100 blow your mind.
Oh, there he is. Hello.
Yeah, real deadly, do little damage. Got like 20 children that can. If unsexy, snap like sandwich. Hit a double threesome, ride a tandem. Got good DNA, shawty thick, got TNA. I'm making moves, no POA. Ain't busting quick, no ETA. It's either she or maybe her. I cannot pick. I got that roly-poly-oly. It go tick. I'm at the Nino playing blackjack, always hit. If baby's broke, he's only doing it for that bit. This not for me. This not for me. This not for me. Please. Don't. This not for me. This not for me. This not for me. Please. Still on that 1-800. Hit me up for a good time. My bunch till it push me out of line. You can't spell my name without the $sign. Rainbow money, take whatever. Yes, I'm colorblind. It's that 1-800, hit my line. Let me 1-800 blow your mind.
Ooh. Wait a second. Is that vanilla? Hey, wait a second. I know this song.
She up on mine. We crunk off. She said, girl, I'm so you. Ball swinging low, net playing ping pong. No boarding.
Look at the pose. Oh! Oh, it's Big Bong!
The negative stigma around antidepressants. I got reasons. Money in the mattress, Cartier glasses. Hungry for an actress. Save me no money, get your new hall passes. Bro, so chapped, and I make them. It's sticky like barbecue sauce. T shiny had it calling me Jaws. Got 100K cash in the wall. Yo, Jen, to protect them dolls. She up on mine.
What?
Girl, I'm so. She up on mine. We crunk off. She said. Girl,
Oh, look at him. Get it, I guess.
Now I'm flexing up on my ass. I can tell that real praise when she see me up with my upgrade. I'm on Ariana, thank you next. Every time I get up, get my brother, make some cheddar. I'm trying to better my life. Party for a party out in Abu Dhabi, that's a regular night. It's sticky like barbecue sauce. T shiny had it calling me Jaws. Got 100K cash in the wall. Yo, Jen, to protect them dolls. She up on mine. We crunk off. She said, girl, I'm so you. She up on mine. We crunk off. She said, girl, I'm so you.
This is how I dance. No, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Again! No. Okay. Well, that was... Whoa. Wow. 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 That was a lot. That was... Wow. What's this do? Yeah, I'm fortified. I mean, like... Wow. Okay. I don't know what I was expecting. It wasn't that. It was a lot more than I was expecting, and honestly, I want it. I want one. How do I get to a point? How big and famous do I have to be to have my own concert in a game like Peak? I don't want Fortnite. I want to be in Peak. I want to be in the next. I want to be in the next iteration of Peak. Right? Wasn't that so cool? Oh. It's just so cool. Anyways, I'm gonna try to solo mount this Peak. I guess I need to, like, you know, did I get the thing? I don't know. I honestly don't know. Honestly though, even if I didn't get the wig, I'm happy not to have gotten the wig. I'm just happy to have seen it. Oh, maybe, actually. Like, normally I'd think, like, yeah, of course. You're not gonna do it for free, right? But, like, I don't know. I feel like they don't really have to do much for that. And all he had to do was give him the song. Oh, bye-bye! Thank you for the follow, Matt Curie. You know, I was cool. You know, Gene streaming. Well, BB is uniquely very, very streamer friendly, so best. Yeah, I feel like BB would let you do it for free. BB no. BB no? Is there anything? Oh, right. I forgot about the sleepy juice. Is there anything to call BB no money besides BB no money? Like, is there any shortened form of BB no money's name? Can I just call him BB? What's BB's actual name? Alex? Alex. No. 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 Can't do it, sorry. I feel like, I don't know. Wrong. I don't like it. We need to rename BB. His name can't be Alex anymore. I'm calling him... I could call him poor. Yes, me and my endless amount of money. I'll call him poor. Alex is kind of boring. I mean, Alex is fine. But, like, I don't know. It's fine, I guess. There's nothing wrong with Alex. It's just there's nothing wrong with... Sorry, my nose keeps getting stuffy. There's nothing wrong with Alex. It just is. Yeah, I mean, like, I'll call, like, normal people Alex, but, like, yeah, it's just Alex. Like, I love the name Alex, don't get me wrong. Especially me, like, since it's a very, like, gender neutral name, I love the name Alex. But I just feel like, no. I would never call bbno Alex. Unless I call him bbno Alex. Maybe Lex. I'll call him Lex. Lex Luthor. Right? Wait, y'all call me Gene. I mean, you don't think I'm famous? You don't think I'm famous, do you? Y'all just like, yeah, Gene. You know the guy Gene. Wow. Wow, you just call me Gene. Because you don't... Okay, I think I need to actually go up that. Okay, that could work. What else would he call you? Slamma Jammer. Gene, call me Genie No Money. I know, but I go by Gene. I call you Silly Puppy. Fair enough. I guess that's unique. Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Oh, this is so bad. Alright, we're gonna... Oh, okay. You call me pretty. You do call me pretty. That's valid. How am I gonna get over there? What if I... You think I can make it? You think I can make it? You think I can make it? Hey! No! I died. I think I missed only a little bit. Only a little bit. It was fine. I did so well. Hello, Astralis. Thank you for that, bats. We're going back in. Did I fall? No, I jumped to my death. Like all super strong masculine men like me, you know, I'm so masculine. You don't even know how masculine I... Why am I ugly? Who is this man? Who is this man? This isn't me. This isn't me. There we go, that's a little bit better. Why don't we do a stupid little haircut? And then we'll do like a little face. Like a little guy. He's a little guy, right? He's a little guy. Now we'll get my cool skirt. There we go, it's a little bit better. I want to be, green. No, pink. Pink is such a good color. Okay. Now I have angry eyebrows. That's right. Yes. I think this. Yes. Crying forever. Am I gonna do a little bit? Oh. Wait. Yes. I'm ready. Sorry, I count my ex's dogs as my sons. We're gonna steal your son. Oh. Let's go. You're going back to the same basement. Enjoy the basement! I also miss Neeks. Someone go get Neeks. Chat, go get Neeks. Right now. Claim them. Pull them out. Steal Neeks. We need Neeks. Pink Peeker. What's that supposed to mean? Neeks. Bing bong. Bing bong, would you like to be thrown into the ocean? Maybe. I knew it. Are you sure this is what you want? No. Why not? You'll be happier in the ocean. Go to the ocean. Yeah, definitely. Got it. Bye, Bing Bong! Strauss, you're fine to leave then. Have fun. Neeks! Hello, Neeks! Miss you, Neeks. How you doing? You're working. How dare you? We watched bbno Money and you weren't here. Why were you in the void? Don't go in the void. You're not allowed. You actually were in the void? Figments. We need to watch again for like it's 10 minutes long, y'all. We can't watch it again. She was pouting. I was pouting a little bit. I might have been pounding a lot. Okay, how about this? How about I play it while we climb? Oh, you did watch the concert? Okay, Nick's right, so we're fine. Who's your friend that likes to play bing bong, bing bong? Wait. So I should play it? Fine, we'll play it while I... Oh, you get a stamina boost? Ooh, okay. Dun, 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 dun. Boku, did you not see the bbno Money concert we watched? We all were hanging out watching bbno Monies.
I know. Neeks is famous.
Oh, I can't believe you. We spent a whole long time. Morale boost, let's go. We get that stamina boost. BB knows. BB, take me to the top of the mountain. Boku, I'm just messing with you. I'm sorry.
Baby, no money, got money, I'm a paradise. 3 scoop, creatine, steam room, equinox, 3 bad folks giving me triceratops, 3 short kings in the squad like Eric. I'ma take your chick like a thief in the night. You off, I'm on, it's a circle of life. I'ma top my shit, young BBNO, one of a kind. Mr. Zero, bro, made a typo. My girl got a girl, she a nympho. Ain't too good, I think I need lipo. Prop 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm a psycho. Commas in $1 million. That's 2. More than I'm giving in bucks. That's 2. Shotties with a big old buck. That's 2. Ford you out of sets on a truck. 1 to the
What's the money, 2 to the dumb.
Left, right, go. Got a rollie for the brunch and a panic for the show. That's left,
Here we go.
right, go. Got a big new body and a whip it like a pro. That's left, right, go. Got a great main chick and a real bad hoe. That's left, right, go.
Oh, we're not gonna make it on that one. Oh, you know what I want to play? I would love to do, God, what's the game? Zombie game, zombie parkour game. Dying Light, yeah! I think I might start with the second one, though. Because I always wanted to play the second one. It looks so cool. Wow. Huntsman before? What's Huntsman? No, I don't think so. That go. Left, go. Best game ever? Huntsman? Oh, I know one is better. I've just played one, but I never played 2. Scary Spider game. Can we play Scary Spider game? I think we have too many arachnophobics. One 800 hit me up on the good time. My name without the $sign. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I probably won't play it then. It's an easy enough thing to not do. Ah, come on. There it is. I'm gonna see if we can see them. They're too far away. No! Come closer, Iron Mouse. Ah. Okay, let's see. We'll hit there, we'll go there, we'll go there, we'll go there, up there, up there. Then we should be good. All right, let's go. 800. Oh, I'm sorry, Mizaki. I try to always upload a VOD to watch. So you can always watch a VOD to get back on it. Spermies? They turned into sperm? What? That's insane. Here we go, here we go. On that 1-800, hit it up for a good time. My name without the dollar sign. Hi, thank you for the follow. Welcome, welcome. 800, he's on Phantom, he's my hero. Oh! Misaki, you're totally good. So a VOD is a recording of the stream. If you go back to my channel at any point in time, there should be VODs up to a certain date. And you can watch my old streams, which will allow you to keep your streak going. It stands for Video On Demand. Ah, Sonny! You nerd. Gucci, Gucci. This should work. Playing ping pong, no board, I'm a King Kong. I don't white floss, ain't putting no ring on. She said, my life. Got Jesus on my pieces, call me Reese's, I got pieces. I'm trying to eradicate the negative stigma around antidepressants. I got reasons. What? Money in the mansion. Oh, not the poison. No, don't poison. Don't poison. Don't poison. Calling me Jaws. Got 100K cash in the wall. Yo, Jim, protect them dolls. She up on my weak one call. She said, girl, I'm so yo. She up on my weak one call. Bing bong. She said, girl, I'm so yo. I'm digging this actually. This game is so good. Yay! I'm so glad I can summon people. Now I'm flexing up on my ass. I can tell that real praise when she see me up with my upgrade. I'm on Ariana, thank you next. Every time I get up, get my brother, make some cheddar. I'm trying to better my life. Party for a party, I will not Abu Dhabi. That's a regular night. You're sticky like way over there. Look at him. They calling me Jaws. Got 100K cash in the wall. Yo, Jim, to protect them dolls. She up on my weak one call. She said, girl, I'm so. I can. You're right. Does that mean I can? Wait. Am I summoning my mods from the void? Oh, it's so cool. No, stay out of the void. Stay out of the void. Energy drinks are bad for you. The void comes. Yay. Woo. Wait, what is that? Is that? What is that? What is that? What's that? What is that? Huh? What is that? Fog wall. Oh. The spice. The spice. this space. It does a lot more than, control the spice, control the universe. Okay, we're hungry. Let's eat some thickness. Dude, it's so good. All right, we're down with thickness. We did it. Woo! 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 Chat, I need celebrations. Celebrate with me. Come on. Something white people don't understand? What do you... Wait, nap time? Excuse me? Explain. What don't I understand? I know there's a lot I don't understand. Root day 2. Eat. You know, honestly, I'm thinking like this might end up being my Finn moment. White people don't understand spice. Hey, I understand spice. I can cook. I made gumbo. I've made gumbo before. I've made curry. I didn't say I can handle it all the time, but this place looks different. Did they change the way this place looks? I like this. Wasn't there spikes here before? Thank you for the follow. I love this place. Oh, it's so gorgeous. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, right. Sorry, I forgot to get rid of the cage. We're gonna change the cage. It's time to change the cage. You ready? Bloop. Bloop. There we go. Cage has been changed. All right, here we go. I missed it! I forgot that I hit the wrong button! Why mods? Yeah, I think it's funny. Rope cannon. Ooh. Ooh. Don't eat me! Illegal crimes. You're not allowed to eat me. I like how they run with this. It's so quiet now. Should we just listen to more bbno? What do you think? Play bbno in the background? Yes, no? Yes. Haha, I knew it. Bunch of dorks. I just realized BB says I'm going to stroke my shit because nobody's topping me. Ah! What is this? Spider. Is this poison? Ah! Yeah. I'm talking about Chet's whale penis. I'm eating you. Ow! The wind! Help! So that's fine. I'm fine. Okay, we're all better. Yee. I've learned. Say it, nap time, say it! I got this thing. We're fine. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm sorry. Jack Sparrow. Judge me. Judge me then, nap time. Come forth and judge me. Hello, Zeke. Welcome to the menagerie. My name's LuckyJene. I'm a gambler, a writer, and a soon-to-be villain. May he who is sinless cast the first stone. No, I'm not a villain yet. The paperwork hasn't gone through. We're getting close, though. Don't threaten me with ice. Put the letters away. All right. Wait. Where was it? Here it is. That is lovely. Oh, look, it's the bisexual lighting. All right, we're gonna avoid this. But how's everybody doing right now? I'm enjoying your presence. I hope you understand that. Let us talk about your actions. This is why the mods belong in the cage. You see, the cage there is filled with only bad things. And the mods like coming in here and giving me puns. Well, unfortunately, due to the bureaucracy of this current government, I am not a villain until the paperwork says so. Oh, wait, the wind. Good, well, right. The wind will see. Oh, Jesus. I don't want to be poisoned. How do we do this? How do I do this? I mean, does the cage look comfy? Particularly comfy? Alright, we're going to try this. Oh, maybe we'll just get a little higher. How long does the paperwork take? Honestly, it's up to the bureaucrats. They can choose how long they want to take. But I need to prove first that I'm a villain. Oh, hello. Oh, hello. Oh, hello! I need to first prove to the, association that I have enough connection and strength. Why am I being attacked by you? Alright, we're going to see if we can do something here. Oh, it's so tiny. What's the point of this rope? There it is. We got this. I think I might be out of it. I might not have a chance here. Yes. Aha. There it is. Oh no. Well, we've tried. Attempt number 1 has failed. How do you all feel about that one? Attempt number 2. Oh, you're not feeling good, Stellar. I'm sorry to hear that. I'll be feeling better soon. Anyways, hi everybody. Wow, I have been so out of it today, I've barely talked to you all at all. Have you noticed that? Not being like, hey, everybody, realize that Gene doesn't talk to you, but like, I don't know, I've just kind of been here today. Don't chuck popcorn at me! Why'd you do? No. Let's talk. Let's talk about something. Okay, so, I have 2 drinks. We have iced tea, and we have Mountain Dew. And so, this is the theory that all... Oh, where's my hydration juice? All ADD people have 3 drinks. You might not notice it, but all ADD people have 3 drinks. What are those drinks? Ah! Yes! Do you know? Those 3 drinks are caffeine, fun, and hydration. There you go! Yes. And I have my hydration and caffeine and all of them are in my Arizona tea. Water, energy, flavor. Y'all are ADD, aren't you? We're gonna do a quick little test here. If you are ADD, hit 1. If you're autistic, hit 2. If you are both, hit 3. And if you're none of them, hit 4. Gotta be, I didn't listen long enough. 3, 4. Okay, we 3, 1, 3. 4. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, yep. Miss Crimson Kiss. I like your name. I'm ADHD, sue me. Wow, I'm surprised. So, not all above, but something's wrong. Yeah, that's fair. I will tell you this much. So, a lot of people always think they're autistic because autism, and this is not me being like hateful or anything. I want everybody to like we're gonna be fully honest here. Autism did get popular, and it became like the mental disorder everybody like learned, right? In reality, a lot of people who believe they're autistic are just untreated ADD, because a lot of the symptoms are like cross the same spectrum. But quite a few of you are 100% autistic, and I'm not saying that you aren't by what I said. Just letting you know, like, if you're ever like, I don't know what I am, but I'm definitely something, ADD is very, very likely. But if you have certain textures you have issues with, if you have certain flavors you have issues with, if you have like repeated, like you cannot do things because they are wrong, we're gonna get more autism. And I mean wrong as in like safe foods. Yeah. You've Asperger's? Valid. Yeah. The frog rises. And see, the thing is, like, I'm a weird case in the way I can always tell that I'm like heavily ADD is that when it comes to like textures, I like weird textures. I like spoons that don't make sense and that feel weird in my mouth. I specifically like, I don't have a super strong morality system, which a lot of autism people have. Did you know that? A lot of autistic people have very strict morals. Now, it could be like, not necessarily common morals, but yeah. Oh, really? Well, no, but ADHD and ADD existed at the same time. That Neeks, what a quote. I got a job at a paperless office. Everything was great until I needed to use the restroom. Hey, Best! Welcome, Best. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the menagerie. We're doing voices today. Why? Yeah. Maybe I'm manic. Alexa, am I manic?
Sorry, I'm having trouble accessing your A4A bbno skill right now.
Huh. I don't know what Alexa just did, but it made a beep sound, and it's kind of scaring. That's the 8-ball. Magic 8-ball. Yeah. Little jazzy hand. Look at my little jingly hands. That was a brain scan. Pew. No brain found. Oh, yeah. Oh, OCD is fun. I mean, not fun. Awful. I know this is a need to know information, but like I have discovered I can never date somebody with OCD. It has nothing to do with anybody who's OCD. It is the fact that I am so incompatible, you would hate living with me. I could not live with a person with OCD. Put it that way. Because I have before. Yeah. Let me up there. No, I don't want to die. Oh, they can't live with me either. 100% they cannot live with me. They would hate it. I know that because I've done it. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, we're gonna watch these cool moves. Sweet, sweet. That's all my dying light skills there. The can mountain would. It's not even organized. It's just a. Ooh. BB no money just be saying things. My triple D's be natural. Or be natty, I believe is what he said. Oh, bun mushroom. Aw, but Neeks, don't leave me. I do listen to Prof. Why am I being poisoned? Why am I being poisoned? Ah, so valid. No, I had a button mushroom. But mushrooms aren't poisonous. Evening. But since when are button mushrooms? Wait, a real button mushroom's bad for you? We're just talking about this game, because I could have sworn button mushrooms are one of the mushrooms that you can eat fine. Am I crazy? I do need a mod love emote. See if I can get myself stuck here. What's that? Okay, yeah. Maybe, wait, is the fog poisonous? Shell fungus. Oh, I think it was the fog. Work. Buttons can be bad. Well. We're gonna play a song real quick. This one's for Neeks. Shit, let's do. Gibberish mod. You want a bread machine? Yeah. Ooh, we're good. I will hydrate. Ah. All right, let's see. Come on. Ah, shit. Give me a second. Ah! There it is. Balls! I like that one. Okay, well, hello, I'm back. Haha, my basement has so much stuff. You have a bread maker? Give me! I can't buy myself a bread maker because I keep spending money like I shouldn't be, so, yeah. Once I ate a fancy Italian restaurant, it cost once I ate at a fancy Italian restaurant, it cost a pretty penny. Why are we punning? Are they fun? Do you think shelf mushrooms are fine? What do you think? Bye, enjoy your laundry. I believe in you. Not with that attitude, you can't. No. Yes. Woo! 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 Meow. 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 Yeah. Oh. I had the mushroom in my hand, and so I couldn't. I hurt my leg. I hurt my leg. I hurt my leg. I hurt my leg. My leg. Pity me. Pity me. Somebody give me pity right now. Ah! Ah! No! 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 Bye! I'm... Ban him. What? What keeps happening? I'm not climbing that tree anymore. It's scary. How do you use this? Oh! I can't make that now. I broke my leg too much. What's that? Yeah. What? No, 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 no. Building my stamina. Ah. Okay. We're doing it. Oh, I love all my mods. All my mods are the best people ever. Why else would I want you here? You're the best. You're the best, though. Even in the cage, you're cool. What I believe these incredible puns. I want on that. I want there. I want to be there. How do I be there? Oh, I should have gone that way. Oh, that way is so cool. I got it. We're going that way. Help! Help! Out of milk! Out for milk! Why are you here if you're... There's no milk here, I'm sorry. Chat, do we have any milk? Is that a spider? Oh. Don't die. I've broken my legs too much. Alright, we're gonna go look for something to fix my knees. Ooh, purple mushroom. That's probably bad. Oh, button mushroom! Yay! Yummy. Neeks, look away. Oh, don't worry. Ah! 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 Why is there mushrooms? I don't know why it's mushrooms. Ooh, milk. Eh. Let me out. Let me up, 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 let me up. I don't question. Jaboo-boo. Who's Jaboo-boo? Yeah. Thank you. For the lurks. Oh, shoot.
I'm not quite sure how to help.
I'm not talking to you. I hope you enjoy doing laundry. Do I need stamina up? There it is, okay. Okay, there we go. I got this, I got this, I got this, I got this, got this, got this, got this. We're gonna, so I'm gonna, hut, and then hut. Up we go. Yes, yes. No! I'm trying so hard. I'm trying so hard. What are you stumped about? Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Back. Oh, I wasted all my stamina getting up here. Don't lie to me! Don't lie to me. Don't lie to me. Nah. Well, apparently this is what I'm going to be dealing with. There it is. Okay. There we go. No, no, no! Go away! There you go. What? Yeah. No! Why? No! Ah! I was doing so good! How'd I survive that? I'm just a pro. Just a pro, y'all. You know what I am. No more music. How dare you, Neeks? I'm interrupting your music? No. No. Taking it back. No music for you, Neeks. You know, you have to sit here in silence. Now I have to actually talk. Oh, well. Yeah. Okay, let's be entertaining. 1 + 1. Nope, not that. Oh, he's a little guy. Oh. Well, thank you. Thank you. I do appreciate it. Come on. Come on, you can do it. God. If you could climb trees like this, would you? If you had the ability to climb trees, giant trees, would you climb them? Hello, Layla. Welcome to the menagerie. How are you doing? Well, there are no giant trees near me. Maybe like redwoods? Are redwoods climb up? No. Can you legally climb redwoods? Would the government get mad at me for climbing a redwood? Question. Who knows the government? Somebody Google the government for me. Call the government. Okay, I think I can somehow get there. Maybe if we go... Ah, that's what it is. Yeah. Climb a redwood and see? I don't want to... There we go. Climbing in the skate parts, getting down that is valid. Valid. No! No! I do become such an amazing person who brightens my day and gives me something to look forward to. Was it pure luck, or are you truly spectacular? Oh, well, thank you, Neeks. I appreciate that. Thank you, sweetie. I'm dying. This is gonna hurt. I don't think I can make it anymore. I need something to fix my broken bones. Certified Sour Patch Kid. Oh, you. Not you. You. Let's say I'm like... That's all poison. We can't go in there. It's fine. Fine. No, I said you, not you. No, you, not you. You. You know? Okay, look. There's no, not. We're not. No. Don't you be sheeping at me. You, not you, and not you, not you either. Just you. No, not EU. Okay, look. EU, that's a group of countries, okay? No, emu is the big flightless bird. Unbelievable. No, that didn't even, what? Okay. U. Not the letter U either, okay? What's this do? Oh, it kills me. I see. Wow. That happened. Igloo? Okay, no. Igloo? Ice. Stacked. I don't know if anybody's actually ever lived in an igloo. But igloo. That's one thing. Emu. Ewoo. What are we, fire trucks now? We need ambulance going, ewoo. No. You should play it with K-Cat. She's good. I'm trying to get I want to get the wolf ears. Igloo, emu. We would. No. Temu. This isn't a knockoff Chinese site. I mean, I guess technically Temu isn't knockoff. It's kind of embarrassing how many products are from Temu that are just resold. You need a tissue for my issue? I do need a tissue. My nose is all stuffy. I need to record lines tonight, and I'm just not feeling it, but I need to do it. So we'll do it. I'll have to be yandere on my, when I'm feeling not the greatest. I never follow suggestions. Exactly, Casey. Get him. Get him, Casey. Get him, Casey. Get him. Don't worry, you would make $1 per day because you're a boy. Mia side quests. Oh. I'm sorry, what is that name? Femboy toy. Femboy toe liquor. What? Who be licking toes here? No licking toes. Keep your cat. Protect your toes. Protect your toes. Why are you licking toes? You love Cass? I like Cass. I wouldn't say love. Oh, sorry, Casey. This one's for you. Oh, well, thank you so much for the redeem. There you go. I don't have my dogs out. I'm exclusively wearing socks. I'm kidding. I'm also wearing pants. Puts on 5 pairs of socks. I sleep. Who sleeps with socks on? Raise your hand if you sleep with socks on. Gross, no? I don't, but I have a couple of times. No? Wow, Necro immediately lurks when I mention sleeping with socks. I'm sorry, Necro. You never wear socks? Oh, but you gotta wear socks with shoes. You gotta wear socks with shoes. Then your feet get all sweaties. You don't want sweaty feet. No, see, I do. Why can't you hear a pterodactyl going to the bathroom? Because the pee is silent. What about the poop? You telling me pterodactyls don't? Wait, no. They are probably relatives of birds. They might not poop. Your sweaty feet? I do have sweaty feet. I do have sweaty feet right now. No blanket. No, but I mean, sometimes your toes are cold, okay? Like your toes specifically are more cold than like the rest of you. So you put like an extra layer of socks on. cold but sweaty. Valid, valid, valid. Socks make you feel like your skin is peeling? That sounds like a different problem. Why does it feel like are your feet okay? Why? You feel like your toes are being pulled off by your socks? Like your skin? That doesn't feel okay. That doesn't feel all right. That seems like there's something deeper, more problematic going on in your brain. Have you consulted therapy? Hey, thank you, Ellie. Thank you. I'm upside down. I don't like being upside down. Da 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 da. No, 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 no. Oh, okay, it's the autism. That's valid. I mean, playing life on hard mode, aren't you? Just disappear. Steak socks. Red crisp apple. Red crisp apple. Take a look at my ooh la la. Take a look at my girlfriend. She's the only one I got. Not much of a girlfriend. I never seem to get along. Take a gander across the water. Let you see America. Give me the Sokals. Sokals? Ow! Why do my ankles made of paper? Every time I fall, it's just like, no, extreme violence against your ankles. Why are the ankles so weak? Who gave this man such horrible ankle? Yeah. Okay, there we are. Okay, Brooklyn, Christopher Walken. I mean, they gave this guy ankles and they just don't function. I mean, how could they? I mean, like, the ankles, they're just weak points for this man. They might as well have been made of. Thank you for that, Pats. Take a gun. Yes! Look, if Eli was good. Just don't watch movies. Just go read like a synopsis of all the movies. You'll be fine. No hawk tour. I'm so... His ankles. He's so lame. If I had better ankles, we would be already done. Let's go to the beach. Let's go get away. Say, hey, what you gonna say? Have a drink, clink, found the Bud Light. Bad. Me are hard to come by. No, I didn't ask you. What stretches should I have done before my stream? You would ask for this, wouldn't you? You all in your pension for things that I cannot stand. But I suppose if this is what you need... Look. Hawk. 2 of them. Yoga. You believe that I should be doing yoga before my streams, really? And who? Well, I never stretched and I never will. You should be stretching sometimes. Stretching is good for your body. Don't forget that. We're going to sneak our way into this hole. My ankles don't allow it. La da 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 da. All right, so we're going to see if I can slide my way right in here. Fit into the gap, thank you. Just a nice little tight crevice. There's a thin line between genius and being a idiot. Really, and where do I fit on that line? I'm still on brain rot compared to what I think in my head. Well, idiot! Are you calling me an idiot? How could you? What have I done to make you believe that I, of all people, would be an idiot? I know where I am on that line. I don't believe I'm going to make this. I believe I might be out of luck here, lovelies. What do you think? Perhaps if I can head over that way if we have enough time, but I don't... We can't even make that jump. Unless maybe... Wait. Climbing. There it is. We're doing it. Okay. If I remember correctly, did I succeed this way last time? Or is this the ways of bad decisions? Yes, this feels better. This feels like it could be a successful space. And there we are. Yes. Yes! We've done it. You and I have made it. And now, to claim my prize. A cannon. Oh no. And milk. I believe these two things will do very nicely together. Very nicely indeed. I didn't cook it. Well. That's unfortunate. I may have doomed myself here. Well then. I need some milk. Alright, so we're going to try something horrendous. This time, we have plans together. Isn't that right? Isn't that right? Oh, we're at 1:44. That means we have 20 or 18 minutes. How are you all feeling right now? We feeling good up in here tonight, Minneapolis? I need some milk, don't believe it. Oh, well, thank you so much for the redeem. Yeah! She didn't grab it! Killing myself. Can't stop me. No. Not if I do it. Then I'm just prophesizing. Applesauce? Why not? What do you do? Eating you. Ow. I did it! I did it! Woo! I did it. We have a problem. I know I'm naked right now. Oh no, I'm not. I'm wearing clothes. Thank you for the sub! Thank you. Welcome to the menagerie. Well, I told you to do it, didn't I? Naked for sub? No, I'm wearing clothes. I'm wearing clothes. Look at it. Look at the clothes. So I said make sure you stay here. Exactly. The hussy clavicle. What's wrong with my clavicle, huh? You trying to judge me for my clavicle? Girl, my clavicle be popping. Hot tub stream? Bet. Give me a second. Let me find a PNG of a hot tub. I got this. Actually, you know what? I did find a hot tub asset. Like a guy body. Okay, wait. I have a background. Male hot spring. Ooh. Ooh. I don't know if I can show that on stream, actually. Oh, this one's not too bad. Extra seasoning. Oh, this one's from Kofi. This one's not bad, actually. I might grab this. How much is it? Free 50. We're getting it right now. We're going somewhere. Chat, we're gonna hang out. What's gonna happen? Da-da-da-da. Ba-ba-da-da-ba. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Ba-da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Bound out to get you. She's a killer queen. Got it downloaded. Okay, we're gonna do a. Gather round, you lads and lasses, sit here for a while and hearken to me mournful tale about the Emerald Isle. Okay, I have an idea. You ready? So first off, we gotta go to a different room. When you go to a different room, this is important, okay? So let me think what room we can go to. Everybody died until our tears have dried. We'll drink and drink and drink and drink, and then we'll drink some more. I guess we can go to the bedroom. Yeah, we'll go to the bedroom. That's not the bedroom. That is not the bedroom. That's not the bedroom. Oh, God, there's cars. Help. Wait. It's fine. I'm sure it's fine. Oh, no. Oh, whoops. Okay, 1 second. Uh-huh. No. There we go. Okay, you ready? So now I do this, and I go to this, and I go here. Whatever this folder is. Okay, I'm gonna do this. This. So I'm gonna take this, and I'm gonna put it here. Oh, wrong screen. VTube. Haha. Now we have haha. Okay, wait, that's supposed to go in the back, though. I got this. Okay, we're almost there. Almost got it. Okay. And now... No, that's not how it works. Okay. Uh-huh. Oh, okay. Almost. No, let me grab. Okay. There we go. You can't even see it well. Wait. Give me a second. We're gonna do. Aha! Chat. I'm in a barrel. I'm a little hot tub. Yes. I'll take off the clothes. You're right. Okay, so first what we're gonna do is we're gonna do. That didn't work. What if I do? That didn't work either. Okay. I know one of these does it. That's the car. There it is. Okay, now I can. There we go. Now I'm in a pot. Yay. It might not be hot water, but it's water. It's mine. I can do that. How's everybody doing? Don't cook me. Don't cook me. Why would you cook me? There we go. Oh wait, I need to adjust the barrel. There it is. Stop trying to cook me. Look, you don't need to cook me, okay? I promise. I'm not very good to be cooked, okay? Don't make Gene soup. Do not make Gene soup. You don't want to eat me. Rubber ducky, you're the one. You make bath time lots of fun. Rubber ducky, do 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 do. Ba 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 da da da, ba ba da ba da, ba ba da ba da ba ba. Ma ba ma ba ba na. Oh, one of these takes away my headphones. Is this one? Aha! There we go. Do 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 do. I will feed you. I promise. I'll feed you. You do not stop trying to cook me. Do 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 do. Ba ba da ba na. Oh, try something. I do this. I'll make it wider. That'll do. Anyways. Rubber ducky, you're the one. You make bath time lots of fun. Rubber ducky, I need bottles of water. Gina, we need food. Fine. You know what? We will sell Gamer Boy bathwater, okay? How about that? How does Gamer Boy bathwater sound? We'll sell Gamer Boy bathwater and be fine. What the heck's what? I have no arms? What? I totally have arms. What do you mean? Boo-doo. Doo-doo. 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 I need a bathtub boyfriend. I'm hiding. You can't have any soup. It's my soup. It's my soup, chat. You can't have any of this, okay? It's mine. Just my soup. Those potatoes are delicious. No, it's my soup now. You can't have any. No. Oh. No soup for you. No soup. You can't prove that. I totally have arms. There's totally arms down here. Prove it. Prove me right now that I have arms, huh? Prove it right now. Huh? Can you? See? Stop hitting me with the ladle. Rude. Well. See, watch. I'll prove to you have arms. Okay, ready? Set. Arms. Ha! I've had them all along, chat. And you can't prove any different. Chat's still gone. Why is chat gone? It is so frustrating that chat is gone. I hate the screen now. My clothes got wet and dirty. What do you mean? You smell like stew? Who would ever possibly me? Never. Did I eat chat? Never. Because you broke? I did not. You broke it. You broke it. And you can't prove me wrong. You cannot prove me wrong that I broke it. Okay? Show me right now. How'd I break? How'd I break it? Huh? I did not. I did not. Oh, hi, Muck. Can I jump on the bed? All right, you can. It's gone. It's gone. There was never any soup. You can't prove me wrong. There was never any soup. Just like there's not a courtroom scene. There's definitely not a courtroom scene. Why would there ever be a courtroom? Chad, you've been brought here in front of the royal magistrate to tell me of your crimes. Tell me, what crimes have you committed? What crimes have you made and done? Explain to me your crimes. Judge, jury, executioner. All right, it's fine. Chat, explain. Oh, I see what happened. I see what happened. Wait a second. Chat, speak. Ah! Ha, 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 ha. Aha! I fixed it. I am the greatest. Compliment me right now. Tell me good things. Compliment me. Compliment me. Yay! I got compliments. That's all that really matters. More compliments. I said more compliments. Compliments does no better compliments. You're almost competent. I said good compliments. I'm taking away food privileges. I got sushi. I got sushi for everybody. I got one of those sushi boats, and we were all gonna share sushi boat pieces together. And I was gonna feed it to you all, but no sushi now. No. I got sushi. I also got you know those beef skewers? I got beef skewers too. They came with the peanut sauce. For some reason, they're served on a big piece of lettuce. I don't understand that. Have y'all like why are they served on a piece of lettuce? Oh, Onyx saved everybody. Everybody gets sushi. Everybody will get sushi. You know what? I'm gonna find the biggest sushi boat. Give me a second, okay? Biggest sushi boat PNG. Let's go. Bam. Wait. Okay, I'm gonna PNG egg and we're gonna find a sushi boat. Okay? Sushi. Hey. I gotta watch an advertisement. I'm sorry. Reward in 5 seconds. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Sushi boat. There's no sushi boat, just sushi platters. I don't want a platter. I want a sushi. Finding a sushi boat. Sushi boat images. Flawless. Flawless. There it is. This is what we're using. Actually, we're gonna find the biggest sushi boat. Biggest sushi boat. No, we'll get you ones that aren't raw fish as well. Okay. So some of these won't be raw fish. That way everybody can have some. Okay. So here is. I have found it. I have found the sushi boat fit for my voidlings. Are you ready? Are you ready? Sushi boat. Downloads. Save. Just for you. Just for you. You all. 5, 4, 3. Whoa. That's too big. Too big. Here you go. From my voidlings. What do you think? I'm sure everybody can find something they like on there, right? Look at them dumplings. Look at them dumplings. Fine. You know what? We'll also get bao buns, okay? Bao bun buffet. That's what we need. Oh yeah, no, sushi boats are served in boats. And for those of you who don't like sushi, let's get you some bao buns, okay? Thank you for hitting that follow button. Welcome to the menagerie. It's not as good. It's not as good, but it's still pretty good, okay? Sorry. Here it is. Bam! Bao buns. There you go. Can you use the butt after? You could use the butt after. Hey, is anybody who doesn't like Asian food? You're totally valid if you don't like Asian food. That's totally fine, but I want to make sure everybody has something. Who wants... There's somebody who's really picky. Okay. Is there anybody here who only eats chicken tenders? What in bao bun? So that looks like chicken. One of them I think is probably pork. All right, we're getting you chicken tenders. Okay. Here you go. Oh, that actually looks kind of fire. We're gonna save as. Oh, we're gonna do a little. Where's my snippy tool? Snip, 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 snip. Yoink. And for those of you who don't like, there you go. Get you a nice big tenders box. Has all your little dipping sauces and some fries. How's that? Is that good? Everybody satisfied? We got food for everybody? Bye, She Protect. Have a good one. We need something for vegetarians. Okay, I'm gonna look up some good vegetarian foods. You can't eat me, I'm sorry. That's cannibalism. And I don't abide by cannibalism. I'll just make you something. If you're vegetarian or vegan, I'll make you my food. I'll make you something, okay? Because honestly, everything's gonna be like, oh, look at this vegetarian thing that's totally vegetarian and looks like this non-vegetarian thing. No. I'm gonna feed you. I will make your own special meals, okay? Non-weird textures though. Got you. Perfect. Can do. Halloumi. Oh, I like halloumi. Halloumi's good. Well, everybody, that's gonna be it for today. Hope you all had a lovely stream. I think it was goofy. It was silly, but I think we got to connect a little bit here. Right. Y'all digging it? Y'all digging it? Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, there's 92 of us. So it's time for us to find somebody to raid. I don't know who we're gonna do. My stream influenced your dreams? As it should. As it should. My stream should always be in your dreams. I should be in your... I'm kidding. Okay, we could raid Luca. We could raid... See, just too many people have been doing the GTA RP stuff, which I'm like, it looks fun, but I want to raid somebody that y'all can actually hang out with, you know? Any preference on what you want to see? We can raid into some Chacho's just chatting. You want to do Rat Cousin or raid Rat Cousin? I do love Rat Cousin, and Rat Cousin has been trying to get for that partner. So everybody, we're gonna go say hi to Rat Cousin. Rat Cousin, raid. Oh, thank you, Honey Bats. We're gonna raid Rat Cousin. You all be good, okay? Let me get that raid message. There it is. Oh, God. We'll be back tomorrow morning. I'm super excited to be back here tomorrow to hang out with all of you. Y'all are literally the best thing that's ever happened to me. So I really, really appreciate you. I hope you know that. Bye, lovelies. Mwah. 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 And... Mwah.